because that was the entire time at the beginning he was just like, I'm not a thief, like I'm not gonna be like you, right? But Yuna was just like, listen, I survived. I'm from Yarikawa, right? Like she's like, I had to grow up in the slums. And so I had to do what I had to do to survive, and I made it this long because of what I know, right? So Yuna is kind of to me the devil on his shoulder, and Taka is kind of like the innocence that he is still has in him, right? He still has that innocence in him that we end up seeing ends up dying because of that. So I think that's where kind of Jin's innocence left him is when
Yeah.
Taka died.
Well, and I think when Taka dies, I think, and Yuna finds out about it, I think that's when you kind of see that Taka was truly a yin to her yang because um she said she's never known life without him. Every moment of her life has had him in it. And it's like she's gonna have to she's pretty much starting over her entire life now. And I loved the Yuna development throughout it because she did instead of take the role of telling Jin he needed to change, it was more of, hey Jin, like I've seen the decisions and the things you've had to go through in our 9 step journey. Let's like I whatever you say goes because I respect the decisions you've made so far, and I think she gained that trust. I think he gained her trust by becoming the thief she needed him to be, but also it elevated when he found the balance of towing the line of thief and samurai, and
Right.
he was this holistic character that was able to be the ghost, right? And that's what I love the ghost. It's like every step of the journey you make, it unlocks a new feature, a new attribute you can unlock, and it slowly works your way towards like this title called Ghost, where it's just such this mysterious
Yeah.
how are
Like
you going to be the ghost as the
the
player of
hero.
Jin?
Yeah.
How are you going to be the hero? And I love that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
yeah,
think I think that was cool too because you also see kind of like what you're saying. I think about it kind of on like a um Jin grew up samurai and like his dad was a samurai, people around him were samurai, his uncle was a samurai, and he kind of grew up with that knowledge of like this is how the samurai goes, right? You never kill, you never stab someone in the back. You always like you see that even in like anime sometimes where it's just like a swordsman's disgrace is scars on his back. And that's kind of how Jin lived his entire life. That's what Lord Shimoda would always tell him. It's like when you strike your enemy down, you look him in the eyes and you give him that honor of being a worthy opponent to face you, right? And even towards like the end of the game, there's still some side quests that like you go and do that Jin, his samurai-ness comes out, right? And I thought that was kind of that whole yin and yang that you were talking about is so prevalent throughout the entire game because you see Jin kind of fighting beginning like act one, you see him like, this is my samurai, but I'm not really feeling like being a ghost, right? And then act two, it's kind of like this major battle between the two where he's like, I have to start being more ghost than being more samurai. And then act three, it's kind of like, no, I have to become the ghost in order to free my people, right?